Wish is the brand new Disney animated film that's coming out for families in theaters at Thanksgiving. The film stars Ariana DeBose, obviously coming out for Oscar win for West Side Story, voicing Asha, someone who lives in this town called Rosas, where everyone makes wishes to their king Magnifico, who's played by Chris Pine, who controls and grants wishes to only a specific amount of people. But when Asha is trying to become an apprentice of Magnifico, she learns that he is more evil than basically that he is allowing, and she makes a wish that does get granted on her own, and she tries to give everyone else their wishes back to themselves. The voice cast also includes Alan Tudyk, Victor Garber, Natasha Rothwell, Evan Peters, Rami Youssef, and many others. The film is an hour and 35 minutes and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Inberg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. If you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show every Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Wish? Do you feel like this if you've seen it, does this bring back classic Disney to you, or does this bring up the current problems that Disney animation is having? If you have not seen it, tell me, are you saving this for a Thanksgiving trip for the family? Love to have all your perspectives. We've had a lot of great conversations via our comment section over the last couple of videos. Let's keep that going here with this video. Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button. If you're here watching this video, please hit that like button down below. So coming into this movie, also, which comes from the one of the co-directors and the writing team of the director of the first two Frozen films. That's kind of, this is not, music is done not by Lin-Manuel Miranda here. It is from the songs and the writing and the co-direction from the people who directed and co-wrote the first two Frozen films. That's kind of the type of songs I guess you can expect coming in. I did not have high expectations for this movie. I have not really loved what Disney animation has done for a while, other than really Encanto over the last 5 or 6 years. And really Zootopia, those kind of the two standouts. This movie just did not have a lot of promotion, and it did not get me excited. It did not get great word of mouth. But again, it's a family movie. One of my favorite genres is animated films, animated shows, animated films. So I was very interested in seeing this one. So let's give my thoughts on Wish. And what I'm going to say is, I wouldn't call this a massive disappointment, but to me, this shows where the Disney animated studio is just having a problem. This movie is trying to capture 1930s, 1940s Disney films. And while I think it does that in some ways, let's get into my thoughts on the movie. I think this is one of the most basic animated movies I've seen in a really long time. This is not an awful movie. It does not have an awful story going on, but it just feels so basic and artificial. And it feels like you've seen this type of movie a billion times. And I feel like this movie, more than a lot of Disney things, feel the most artificially made, where we need to check boxes that we do in other Disney animated films. First, lead character is, well, not a princess, but female lead with a talking animal and a mustache twirling male villain. I feel like you've seen a lot of these things, and also she has to have a group of friends. She has to have one of her parents die before the movie even starts. I feel like all of the Disney animation cliches are all in this movie. And I just think it was too much of, just in my opinion, unoriginality, there was no originality, in my opinion, to be found really, other than the songs themselves. The story itself is basic and way too simple. And again, I grew up in a time in the early 2000s where Pixar was dominant, DreamWorks, and even some other Disney animated films where, yes, they were definitely fun for kids to see and memorable. There were also a lot of messages that stuck with us from watching those type of films, like Toy Story, like Incredibles, like even DreamWorks films like Kung Fu Panda. Things that we grew up with had a lot of messaging also that went involved that really stuck with me as I went through childhood. This movie, I think this movie is played for the dumbest of audience, which are kids. Now, yes, this movie is hitting its demographic, which is kids. I just don't know how anyone under the age of maybe 8 or 7 are going to find enjoyment in this movie. I found this movie to be really not funny. I think one of the biggest disappointments from a story level is Alan Tudyk's Valentino. He's the GOAT. Love Alan Tudyk. Did not like that character. Did not think that character was, one, funny, and two, necessary to the movie. On a positive note, I do believe our two lead performances are really good, especially Ariana DeBose. She is a fantastic singer. Obviously, we knew she was on Hamilton, and obviously the breakthrough performance on West Side Story. You've been seeing her even in The Prom a couple years ago on Netflix. She is one of the best theater, performers out there in the world right now, both acting and singing, and she brings it here. She's fantastic. Her voice is astonishing, and even when some of the songs aren't interesting, her voice, she just captivates you by her singing, and DeBose is really good in this movie. I am very mixed on the Magnifico character voiced by Chris Pine. I love Chris Pine. He does a good job singing in the movie, but there were times where I felt like Pine was kind of miscast. I'm all for Chris Pine playing a villain. We literally saw that a couple years ago in Don't Worry, Darling. But he does seem at times not as villainous as I think the movie thinks it is. I don't know if that's Pine or the writing itself. And another big problem for this movie is the way that the movie resolves itself is way too easy. It doesn't feel like our characters earn anything because the way they resolve the overarching issue of the movie is so easy. And it just takes all the stakes. There are just no stakes. And because they resolve things so quickly, it's definitely another problem. As I said, I actually enjoyed the songs a lot. There are times where they go into song randomly and it just feels like they just rushed their way to get to a song. But I enjoyed most of the songs. I don't think there's just one truly memorable song that will be iconic Disney song from this movie. But I did actually enjoy the vibe and the energy because while the story itself, and when there were no songs on, I just didn't feel like the movie had any energy. I think this movie completely benefits for being a musical because it brought the energy that the movie desperately needed. I did like the animation style. It wasn't anything breakthrough, but it was very well made. I love the lead performance by Ariana DeBose. And while I'm very mixed on Chris Pine and Magnifico as a whole, I still enjoyed Pine for the most part. And the songs I did enjoy as well. But this is the most basic Disney animated movie you ever see. If you can think of a Disney animated movie and the cliches, they are in this movie. And I think this is a big problem for Disney moving forward. They need to get back to making original animated movies that both are there to be able to be enjoyed by children, but also to speak to adults and teenagers as well. And I don't think this movie will do that. So overall, I'm going to give Wish a 2.5 out of 5. I am going to go around 46% for Wish. Just not a big fan of this movie. It's not bad, but it's also not good either. So that is my thoughts on this pretty mediocre Disney film. So what are your thoughts on Wish? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys soon.